the young lady that you see here is Denrick Cox. She is the daughter of Denrick Stallings, who was involved in an officer-involved death on January 9th, 2022. The officer shown is not the officer who murdered her father. It was Crawford Sheriff William Owenby. The excerpt that you see here reads from the Rural Progressive and Afro Southeast Georgian. Stallings' family wants more answers. Traffic stops shouldn't end in someone losing their life. Stallings' car had crashed and he did try to run away, but he could have been apprehended at a later time. If Stallings were white, would the deputy show more restraint and call for backup? Keep in mind, Stallings was on foot and could have been easily apprehended and still be alive. Denrick Cox responded and said, "He's not a bad man. I'm not saying by no means that it's okay to run from officers. It's not. It's not okay. I'm not saying what he did was good, but I'm saying what he did didn't deserve death. He didn't deserve death." And that's his daughter, Denrick Cox, that you see on the screen. Someone mentioned that they don't think that much research was done on that Sheriff William Owenby before he was hired onto the Crawford Sheriff Department. He had just been there for about a month, and he killed one man and they ruled it justified, but the other one was at Walmart. So they're not really sure what happened on all that. So before he moved over to Crawford County, again, he was only there for a month, and he killed 2 people in previous counties that he worked for. Some of the comments that were left, and a comment that I would make on the comment that Denrick Cox left in regards to she knew it was not right for her father to run, but, she didn't think it deserved death. And some of the comments that were made in response to that was that one person, there were a couple of people here that had similar experiences. A lot of people. I can share with you a legal experience I had, and the people that were on the jury board, they did not want to perform because they advised they were already biased because they've had personal experiences. You'd be surprised at the number of people that had personal experiences in regards to police brutality, either directly or indirectly. This person stated, "I have to share my feelings on the part about people running from the police. If you grow up watching your loved ones harassed by police, running is part of fight or flight. We have children and adults with PTSD from watching their families be beaten in the streets. Don't let no one ever make you feel your dad shouldn't have run. We need accountability on all levels. My husband is currently being held against his will," this commenter says, "in a nursing home. He's literally not even allowed to talk to our children. Cops don't care. He has a record. Watch the videos of what cops did to my children. I'm so sorry this happened. My husband is going to be a rich man, and I promise you we're starting a new program." And when I hear things like this, I hear this a lot from people that have been brutalized with police. One, the same thing that Denrick was doing when she says, I know it's not right for my father to run. You're always trying to find a way to make what happened right or to justify it in some way, because no one wants to believe that someone could really do something just wrong out of the blue and hurt someone. So you have to think, well, if he didn't run. But again, history states, these other people are saying, that for African Americans, especially those that were born in the 60s and before, and maybe some even in the 70s, you've watched your parents and grandparents be lynched, be burned, be treated in a certain way. So it's a fight or flight response. You know what's coming. When you think of the stories of Rosewood, when you think of stories that, that are posted currently on TikTok, Emmett Smith's murderer is still alive and living. She's gone on and having a joyful life into her old age, and everybody knows she did it. She's in a nursing home, I think, now. Stories of again, people that have been brutalized, by police. There was one instance where there's a lady, her parents were involved in lynchings. They remember attempting to hang a man to lynch. The man kept pulling at the noose, so he wasn't hanging, he wasn't dying. So they took him down from being lynched, broke both of his arms so he could pull at the noose, and then hung him again. So the people that we're dealing with are cruel people, you know. Some of this history is absolutely traumatizing. You know, when you go into the thought of how they're not teaching it in schools, but they should, because there are people that are walking around that are still living, that took part, active part in these things and saw these things and had no sayings on that. Again, going back to the situation where people are saying, oh, well, you know, if he didn't run, you know, there's been many cases where he didn't run. I just posted a video where the guy was laying flat on his back on the ground with his hands up. Hey, I'm the caretaker. This guy's autistic. I'm his caretaker. That's a fire truck, a toy fire truck in his hand. Still got shot. So I'm convinced people do what they want to do, you know? And I think in certain jobs and positions, especially like this, I think in all jobs these days, people need to have some type of training with emotional intelligence. People need to be gauged. But with police officers and law enforcement, you know, it's been said many times that in order for them to be one, they can't have a higher level of IQ. Their IQ can't surpass a certain level. Now, that's not a dig. That's what people, even in law enforcement, are saying, that is true. And when I first heard that, that shocked me, because you would think someone that's a public servant, you know, especially with weapons, you would be required to have the highest level of IQs, you know, but you have to be able to go as a worker bee and just kind of go along with whatever's said and done. And not digging on just police officers, but I think that is in many jobs that come along these days. You know, are there casualties that are thrown to the wind? Yeah. But in this situation, this type of thing should not have happened. More comments in regards to this. Someone else said, I understand your statement as a mother because my son did the same thing. No, he didn't die, thank God, but they shot my son 4 times and he was unarmed. And if you're noticing, you know, her father was shot 4 times and was killed. This other person was shot 4 times and still lived. And so there's a certain thing that I've noticed with the legal system. Like when you're within the legal system and let's say somebody, you have to take it to court, I'm noticing consistently that it's a 3-year period between the time that the arrest was made and the time that you actually go to court the first time. I've seen so many stories. Are there deviations from that? Yeah. But there's certain sets of rules and things that are within law enforcement that the general public doesn't know. And that's why you see these repetition of certain numbers or certain key points of, you know, events that take place going through the law enforcement path. So just wanted to share her story. Of course, you can get her story from her herself on TikTok. Condolences to the family. And just, you know, respect to all involved. Bless.
No police! No police! No peace! No peace! No peace! Dirty deep! Dirty deep! Dirty deep! Dirty deep! No police!
All right, please support my channel, you guys. Please support the fight against wrongdoing. I have a small nonprofit that I'm really trying to get off the ground. It would really help me if you guys could please purchase some of the merch here. This is dedicated towards police brutality. What I am asking everyone to do is purchase a greeting card and send that greeting card to your local police department. Just asking that they stop police brutality. You don't have to write a lot of words inside. You can just send a card and just write please inside or whatever it is you choose. But of course, keep it legal and keep it with good intentions. Also, what you see here is my Stops Police Brutality journal, so that if you have been traumatized by the police or have gone through things that are traumatic, you can journalize those things. Keep those things in a journal for your personal records. Also, so that you can go back and reflect on it. It's part of the healing process. I love you guys and hope you have a great day.